Welcome to Real Vision Crypto. I'm Ash Bennington. It's a pleasure to have with us today Clayton Gardner, co-CEO at Titan, to talk with us about asset management in the digital space. Welcome, Clay.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Before we get started talking about Titan, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the crypto space.
So I've been investing since I was 12, and my parents let me invest a little bit of the chore money in a few stocks. And I also grew up playing sports, was a very competitive athlete. So when you marry the competitive nature of markets with the fact that you can also make some money doing it, I was pretty enthralled at an early age as a kid. I took that interest and went to Wharton as an undergrad. My history of investing is sort of an interesting winding path. I started off not really knowing what I was doing, read all the books I could get my hands on, went to Wharton, actually started taking some engineering classes at the School of Engineering at Penn, and then kind of flipped my mentality and thought I wanted to be a quant trader. So I actually dual degreed in comp sci alongside econ, and then about 2 months into starting at Penn, the great collapse happened. This was the fall of 2008. So it was a really formative time to be in school, learning the theoretical side of finance, but also being able to practice it during internships over the summer at places like Goldman, and also running my own personal account. And after graduating Wharton, I decided to go pursue it full time. I started in private equity at a firm called Cerberus, very distressed, deep value PE, very opposite what I'm doing today, ironically. But yeah, I feel like you have to understand and get to know your temperament before you really can know myself as an investor. It was a great experience, but ultimately my temperament is aligned with long-term quality growth businesses. I enjoy investing in optimism at a certain price, obviously. But that led me to the public markets after Cerberus. So I joined a firm called Farallon, founded by a guy named Tom Steyer. Very fundamental, bottoms up, long, short investing. It was a fantastic place to learn the ropes. And then after Farallon, I joined a startup fund that was backed by Blackstone. And it was a couple of partners there. And that was my journey as a professional investor, privates and publics. I would characterize myself as a growth at a reasonable price, quality sort of investor. I have investments across a bunch of different spaces, private and public, but that's sort of my bread and butter.
Yeah, so obviously a very impressive background on the financial side, an impressive background on the engineering side, graduating with a degree in computer science as well from University of Pennsylvania. Tell us how you make the transition. Obviously, you could have had a quite lucrative career doing what you were doing on the financial side. What made you think crypto was the place you wanted to be?
So it's interesting because we founded Titan in 2017, 2018. And the idea was there needs to be a new Fidelity. The core use case that Fidelity is solving is, or was originally solving and still is today, is smart humans managing money for me. We like to say that there's 3 use cases in investing, or 3 jobs to be done, if you will. There's the do-it-yourself, get out of my way. I want this utilitarian, give me the tools and I'll make the decisions approach to investing. The old guard was the E-Trades and the Schwabs of the world, or E-Trades and Ameritrades, and now you have the Robinhoods building those brokerages. A little bit older use case is make it go away. That's the set it and forget it passive investing. The robo-advisors are a more modern approach to that. Vanguard, Schwab are sort of the OGs. You go all the way back BC to the stories of Phoenician merchants when they were hauling cargo across the dangerous, volatile seas. That use case is what we call show me the way. It's I want to hire an expert merchant to go on this dangerous but very prosperous voyage that I am either too inexperienced or don't have the time or resources to do myself. The old guard for that use case was Fidelity. It was founded in the 1930s. Other companies like Eaton Vance, T. Rowe Price are all really built around this concept of a mutual fund, an active fund. There really isn't any modern operating system for that use case, a way for anyone, my generation, to say, I want to invest with a smart person, but I don't have the time, resources, or access to private wealth managers at Goldman or, the Tudor, Paul Tudor Jones of the world. Right. So how can I find those experts? That's what Titan aspired to build. So it's a long-winded way of saying we actually started in equities. So I started with the bread and butter of what I knew and saying, let's build a platform where anyone can invest with experts in public equities. And we more recently got into crypto. And it was very much pull versus push for us. Again, if you think about that job to be done, like I want to participate in markets and do better than average, but I don't have the time or resources to do it myself. I'm not a professional stock or crypto picker. Your only alternative is to sit in a passive index. And we believe that if we could identify great crypto talent who are deeply wedded in the space, who follow it closely, we could do a little bit better than a passive crypto index fund. So we launched that product in August of 2021, and it's gone so far quite well. And it's really a concentrated portfolio of crypto assets, roughly 5 to 10. We use on-channel analytics, track news flow. We're deep in Twitter and Discord and Telegram groups. And we just think we just need to do a little bit better than average to deliver great results to retail investors who are interested in crypto, but again, don't have the time or resources to do it themselves.
Yeah. So that's a very crisp, clear framework of how you see this space and what you intend to do. Let's talk a little bit about the structure of Titan, what it is that you guys do, how you're regulated, and what the structure of the company is.
It's interesting because when we founded Titan, I can't tell you the number of different legal teams and counsel that told us it wasn't possible. And, my co-founder, Joe, is very enterprising, former McKinsey guys, used to like tearing through, legalese and whatnot, and went back and actually read some of the original Investment Company Act and other rules and regulations. And to solve the problem we set out to solve, which is retail investors investing with experts, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. The order one response would be, I'm just going to go set up a mutual fund. I'm just going to go register an ETF. There's thousands of these out there. It's a tried and true approach. The second order is, well, what are you actually trying to solve for? Just trying to solve for a distributed way to manage money for retail. It doesn't necessarily need to be a commingled fund. And so the way we've set it up is through SMAs, or separately managed accounts. So we do have to personalize each portfolio based on risk tolerance. So for example, the percentage we recommend in our larger cap blue chip equity strategy is a little bit different than what we would recommend in our offshore equity strategy or in our crypto. So we do ask questions about your risk tolerance and could say, okay, you Ash, you're better positioned majority in flagship, which is our large cap product. And, you Susan are better positioned in smaller mid cap product. So it does need to be personalized, but the legal structure by which we manage accounts is we're a platform with 45,000 plus SMAs. In each of those SMAs, if you're the user, you have a team of experts managing those portfolios. But on the back end, on Titan side, they almost you can view them almost like funds in the sense that we're not giving you a different weight in Facebook than Susan gets in Google or Amazon. Each investor in a product owns the same securities as others, and it's more of the arrangement of the pie of those products that varies. And so, when we read that, that's a really interesting way to solve for the job to be done without necessarily needing to get caught up in all the complexity of creating a registered fund company. And one more thing to add, we are a registered investment advisor. And so everything I discuss here is not indicative of the future, past performance, not representative of future results. And obviously anything I say here should not be construed as investment advice. This is purely informational.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto. It's 100% free. Sign up now.